Hello, welcome back to GOT. Today we're going to go over my first week with the OnePlus Open, and I'm going to do some comparison with the Z Fold 5. In my last video, I did cover a little bit of detail between the two of them and how they compare. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about my experience with the OnePlus Open and how it compares to the experience with the Z Fold 5. Let's start with multitasking. You know, multitasking with smartphones has become a big deal, and with Samsung, it's no exception. This is a great phone for multitasking. In other words, you have double apps or two apps that you can open at the same time. App pairing on this phone, which is really great. You open up two apps, and you have side-by-side apps you can do multitasking. So in other words, if you're doing some Bible study, you can open up two Bibles at the same time. You could open up something like a Bible Hub here, which actually has commentaries that you can use to help you in your study, which I like to use the concordances. Now, something you can also do in multitasking is you can add a third app. For example, let's say I want to take notes. Now on the Samsung, you can do a floating app, which is what this is, and you can resize a little bit, resize the app, grab the corners, and resize it a little bit. But you got a floating app. It's okay for a third app. Then you can hide it if you want to, shrink it down. And then there it is. You can put it anywhere you want and then say, I come up with an idea and I want to write it down. I can open this up and I believe I can just start typing away like so. Well, that's okay, but it's kind of weird having to do it this way with this floating app. It's kind of awkward if you want my honest opinion. It's difficult to do it that way. However, what you can do instead is split the screen here like so, and you can have your note-taking app right there and take your notes as you want to, which is what I'm kind of used to with multitasking. Well, now let's take a look at the OnePlus Open. So now on the OnePlus Open, multitasking is really sweet. You could actually really truly open three apps at the same time. For example, you open up and you've got your two apps at the side by side. I have a Bible here and I use ChatGPT to help me kind of reference things at times or quickly search for things. And then of course here I got a concordance, the Bible down below, and I could just real easily switch back and forth between them, and makes it really nice when I'm doing study. So let's say I want to replace the app in here and do something else, like say I want to take notes. I open up the app drawer and I go here to OneNote, and I could just take it, I could just drag it in and replace it. And now I've got OneNote there, and I can just type in a note if I want, wherever I want, type in notes. Now that's kind of crazy. I should put a space in there. Type notes right here, which is really nice. I can't spell, not while I'm under pressure on the camera. Anyway, type notes here, which is really nice. You can do whatever you want here, and then you can go back here, do more reading, research, or whatever. So it's pretty cool. Now this is true multitasking on a device. So in responding to a question I had on the last video, warranty, fix and repair, most folks are saying that Samsung has the best service and availability if you need services or need this repaired or even replaced, because there are some service centers all over in the United States and other places that you can actually take it to and get the repair. However, for someone like me that doesn't live near that, I have to rely on the mail service. So I would have to mail it in. So I haven't had an experience with Samsung, so I don't know how quick the turnaround is or the repair service. So I really don't have a whole lot to say about it, except that, yeah, there is availability for repair in the United States for the Samsung, which is really nice. So that leads me to, what do you do with the OnePlus Open if you have service? You know, I don't know, to be honest, because I haven't had to deal with that. But I can tell you this. I bought this, as I do all my phones, as a refurbished phone. And I bought it refurbished on eBay, and it was refurbished as an excellent phone. And let me show you what they do. Now, because I bought this as a refurbished in excellent condition, it did come with a 1-year warranty, which is really nice. And if you want to see the warranty details, I go right here and it shows me the warranty details. It's covered by Allstate. Now, I've used Allstate protection on other devices, and they respond very well. And that is a local service available to me. So it's not bad. And you can see here, with the phone being in excellent condition, it gives me a 1-year warranty because it's like new. And then if you go down here, what's covered, you have coverage on the product breakdown and malfunction, 100% parts coverage, and with no deductibles on it. And it has a 24/7 online service that you can make the claims, fast repairs, or replacement. So that's really nice. You get a cracked screen or whatever, you can replace it. Now, in reading deeper, they will tap into the manufacturer warranty if it's available still. So that's really nice. And I'm sure I still have manufacturer warranty because this is not a 1-year old phone yet. And the nice thing with that is Allstate will take care of that for me. And buying this through the eBay refurbished program, I didn't have to pay any extra for the warranty. It just came with the phone. So as far as warranty services for me, for service or replacement, it's the same as with the Samsung because I have to do it all online or through mail order. Now, fortunately, I haven't had to use either one of them, so I don't really have the experience. I can't really tell you about the turnaround other than I did use Allstate before and it worked really well. And to be truly transparent, when I buy all my phones through a refurbishment program, either on eBay or Amazon, on Amazon, you got to pay a little extra if you want the added warranty. But if you get the added warranty on the refurbished phone, you have full service on the phone, even though it's used. So for me, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything not buying the devices new. So that's some food for thought for you. Now, one thing I do miss with the OnePlus Open is I miss wireless charging. I do like to use wireless charging on the Samsung. The Samsung seems to need it more than the OnePlus. Besides that, the OnePlus Open does have a slightly larger battery, and I think they actually have better performance on the OnePlus for maintaining the battery usage. Now, as far as water and dust resistance, the Samsung does have a higher rating. It can actually be submerged in water, where the OnePlus cannot. It's good maybe in rainfall or such, but you don't want to be submersing in water. Which, being real, I don't submerge any of my phones in water, so it's not a big deal for me. They both seem to work really well, and I'm not really concerned about that, but you might be. I was also asked about desktop mode. Well, we know that the Samsung devices have DeX, which is a really good function. If you want to run these kind of like a computer, you have DeX, you can run it on your desktop or on a monitor and pretty much use it as a computer, which is a really nice feature. So a good question that I received is, does the OnePlus Open have a desktop mode? Well, from what I understand, it does have a desktop feature. I have not, to be honest, had a chance to check it out. But on that, I want to go into a deeper dive into DeX versus the desktop mode on the OnePlus and see how they compare. Now, something that's really nice about the OnePlus Open is it's different than the other foldables. They actually put premium cameras on the OnePlus Open versus what I consider mid-range cameras on the Z Fold. Yes, it's the same cameras as the S24 and older models with that 50 megapixel main, but the other cameras are much lower in resolution, such as the ultra wide and the 3x optical zoom. Let's take a look at how that really makes a difference. When you take a picture with the main camera on both of them, you get the similar photo on both, as you can see here. So this is the 50 megapixel main shooter on both of them. And with the Samsung, it looks like there might have been a little more cloud covers because it looks a little bit darker. Now, both cameras have a dedicated 3x zoom. So I went ahead and did that. So when you look at them both, they both are 3x zoom. And when we go ahead and look a little closer, and with the 3x zoom, you can see they're very consistent with the color saturation as the normal main shooter. What makes a difference on the zoom photo? Well, the OnePlus Open has a 64 megapixel camera on its 3x zoom, where the Z Fold has a 10 megapixel camera on its 3x zoom. That's a huge difference, and we can see it right there in the clarity. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little more. Now, the OnePlus Open has a dedicated 6x zoom just in your selection on the phone, and with this, it uses the digital zoom. But because the megapixel count is so high, the digital photo looks very optical. Here's what I mean. On the Z Fold, I had to actually digitally zoom to the 6, and that's a little harder to do trying to get that thing to scroll, but that's another story. So here's the photo. You can see here, it's a lot clearer on the OnePlus Open, just looking at the photo itself. So here's a couple other shots, just kind of looking towards the sun. The sun's on the other side of that wall. You can see here, the Samsung has a little warmer tint versus the OnePlus has a little cooler tint, but I gotta tell you, the OnePlus is more accurate at the scene. Now let's go to night shots. Now these were taken on a tripod, and I used a timer, a 10-second timer to let it go. That way I get the same results on both phones. And when you look at the night shots on both these, it seems like Samsung just brightens it a little bit too much on their night shots. And what you see on this is the OnePlus gives you a much cleaner, less pixelated shot. So when you zoom in on both of them, you can see There's a lot of pixels on the Z Fold where you don't find on the OnePlus Open. And these photos are both with the main shooter, which is a 50 megapixel on the Z Fold and 48 megapixel on the OnePlus Open. Now taking a look at the 3x zoom, a similar thing again on the Z Fold, a little bit brighter on the image. So you do see a little bit in the darker areas, but look at this Baja Fresh, how pixelated it is. It's very pixelated compared to the OnePlus Open. Now I did do a little video on both of them. As you can see, they're both pretty comparable on video, but I gotta say that the OnePlus has a little trouble focusing at night. So the Z Fold kind of wins out on that because of the focus struggle on the OnePlus. And as far as stability, they're both about the same, but the OnePlus Open seems to have a little bit of jelloing effect. So when it comes to video at night, the Z Fold does quite a bit better. Well, that's my initial 1 week review on these phones. If you want to see more on the OnePlus or even the Samsung Z Fold 5 or even comparison to the upcoming phones, stick to this channel if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any content here in the future. And if you've already subscribed to the channel, you know the drill. Go ahead and smash that like button down below and comment to this video, because comments really help me to understand what your needs are and your wants. Please leave me comments and tell me what you want to see on these phones. I really hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Until next time, God bless.